Hello, I'd like to talk about two separate points in my life which relate to the long and short of it, not being able to sit still or stay still. With my dyspraxia starting school, I remember really vividly what I learnt. And what I learnt was sit on the carpet in this certain way, you had your legs crossed in a certain way, and sit up and straighten your back. And stay still, sit nicely. Oh, you're so good at sitting nicely. This is like all I could do then. Once I learnt that, I wouldn't be able to sort of like listen and focus and absorb any of the lesson because I can't do that at the same time as sitting still. So as a dyspraxic, for me, well, it takes me a lot of conscious effort to be aware of my body position, okay? And I can sit in that way that we were supposed to sit, but I have to focus very hard and use a lot of expend a lot of energy to stay upright like that. And this is, again, it's related to retained primitive reflexes. So look it up if you're interested in why we struggle with things like staying still. It's about our development phases and some development phases that we've missed. So once I was told to sit still in the class, I was pleased because I could kind of know what I was supposed to be doing, but it was so painful and difficult. And then once I'm sitting like that for, let's say, 20 or 30 minutes while the teacher was delivering whatever information she was like teaching us that class, none of it is coming to me because I'm busy. I'm busy sitting and I'm concentrating on sitting. So another thing, like, it's all related, but with dyspraxia we don't have, quite often we have, or I don't know if always, low muscle tone, and our upper body, our proprioception can be really low, so that means we don't really know where our body is, and we're it's not easy to just sit up straight. So I can't sit up straight and listen at the same time, so it doesn't work. If you want me, by the way, if you wanted me to have listened as a dyspraxic child, I would need to be allowed to, can't put that in the right tense, but you know what I mean, move around, fidget, or move around, or just, yeah, that's it. Because if I'm moving or looking around or whatever I need to do to physically sort of like regulate myself, I can listen. I am good at listening. It's not like I'm not good at listening. I feel like I've said this in another video. I was listening. No, I was. In this case, I wasn't listening because I was busy sitting still. So right now, just fast forward to a totally different point in my life, but I'm trying to explain how it connects, which is in my late 20s, I was doing a job in a really cool science company, science-based company, and a lot of the characters there were like really passionate and really kind of like genius level of what they were doing with their work, and it was very nice environment to be in. And the company though, it was like very sort of like you know, kind of like nepotism, and in some senses it like works very well because of that, but I know you're not meant to do that, and there's reasons you're not meant to do that. So there was like two women, by the way, who were like the same age, and they'd come from, I think, the same year at school. One of them was the boss's wife, so she was like, I'm guessing, or getting the impression, she was like mega rich or mega spoiled. I mean, good for her. And then the other one, she was a friend of mine, and she was the cleaner of the company. That was her main role. But they were kind of like from the same class, so it's sort of weird because it was like two people with two very different sort of like standings within the same environment, and I ended up having some problems with the boss's wife. So I'm not sure when it went wrong because I don't notice or pick up on or know how to work with like social cues and stuff because of my dyspraxia. I'm not aware of them, and I can't sort of like thingy. Some music's just come on. Let me just pause it. Hang on. Alexa, stop. At one point, my job sort of evolved that I was going to be doing events management as part of my marketing role. And the boss's wife was the one who was going to show me like, oh, what's involved. So she actually invited me to the house. It was kind of like a mansion, and like had this chat as if we're suddenly like auntie and niece or something, kind of like really close. You know, like I said, it was like a sort of, I don't know if I've said this yet, but it was like a family feeling in the company, which had its good and bad, because families can be very messy, and yeah, it was pretty messy, but very like really like nurturing and caring, and a lot of good things about it as well. I worked with her with the event stuff for a while, and because she was the one sharing like how I should do that part of my role. At some point later, it started getting really intense, and I started asking for accommodations for my anxiety, because I was getting more problems with like being anxious in the environment and the tasks that I had to do. And by the way, I don't know if this is important, but I was performing really well in the job, so I was respected in the company. I'm always like that. If I'm not doing well at something, I'd rather just get out of there, because I'm like, I've got a very high expectation of myself. But it got to a point where me and her was like, something had gone wrong, I don't know what. And then maybe because I wasn't able to sort of like meet certain social expectations that she thought were important, because I'm dyspraxic, I just can't do that, even though I like try my best. And it got to a point where she started to sort of like try and pick on my behaviour, and she said she complained about me taking too many breaks. This is why it links back to my first part of the video, because I can't stay still, but I'm working really hard. So if I'm in an office job, I guarantee you that I'm going to be working all the time, but I'm moving a lot. I can't stay still. It's really hard for me to sit at a computer for more than a couple of minutes. So to her, when she started thinking, oh, she needed to kind of like bring me down somehow, I don't know what was going on exactly with the power dynamics. She complained to the boss that she said she went to the staff room 3 times in 1 hour. She was trying to make out as if I was sort of like, what's the word? What's the word for that? Like shirk. But that makes it sound like a religious sense. But yeah, no, that's not the right word, is it? Yeah, it is. Shirk? When you shirk your duties. Anyway. But the boss just completely ignored that comment, because to him, like, my quality of work was very good. He could see that I was working really hard. I was delivering the results. So what I'm trying to say is that we need to be allowed our accommodations. We need to be allowed to move around. If we need to move around, then we're going to deliver good results for you. But if we're not allowed because you went to the staff room 3 times, and that means that you're slacking off. That's a better word for it. I can't. Like, if you want me to stay still, then nothing's going to happen. There's no work is going to happen. And I just want to briefly talk about this, the boss's wife and then the cleaner, because I don't know why, but I can't remember what I was going to say about this, but basically that the cleaner was my friend and we got along really well. But the boss's wife, maybe it's just that thing about the social cues, like I'm the same person and I'm behaving the same way, but by one of them I felt by the end of it that I was just completely like, I was just like to her, she might not have thought this, but it felt as if she was seeing me as like a terrible person, annoying, inconvenient, probably incompetent, a failure, like maybe emotionally dysregulated and all sorts of things. Whereas me and the other lady who was the same age but in a totally different level within the company, we would become like really close friends, and we'd become like intimate with what we could maybe share with each other. And I even went to her house, she gave me a lift once, and I was doing the same things. It just goes to show that it's not really you, it's not really me. Sometimes we just are misunderstood. So it's hard, and then it really affects us with our chances of what happens next or what decisions we find we have to make in our careers and social groups. So that's that for today.